Hey everyone, Jer here, and welcome to my channel where I talk about business, entrepreneurship, tech, finance, drone adventuring, and life. And today I'm going to talk about MBA and whether it is for you. So let's just dive right into it. About 120 days ago, I completed my MBA at Santa Clara University, which is a top 22 program in the United States. During my time as an MBA, I had the experience and opportunity to join a variety of tech startups as well as start one of my own. In this video, I'll talk about MBA program in general as well as my experience at this particular program. I'll dive in at a very high level, steps you need to prepare yourself for an MBA program, including the tests, GMAT, GRE, letter of motivation, most importantly known as your why, your resume, and choosing your references for letters of recommendation. To begin, it's highly advisable to have at least some work experience before applying for MBA. I began the MBA program with mainly two previous jobs. I worked as an SAT instructor at an SAT prep place called Elite Educational Institute, and I worked in research at Stanford University at the Lifespan Development Lab. As a slight tangent, working in each of these places taught me what I really liked and what I didn't like. At Elite Educational Institute, based in Irvine, with location up here in Cupertino, I liked interacting with the students, helping them with their SAT, hearing about their aspirations for the future. Many had great aspirations of going to a top university, joining a big company such as FANG. Some wanted to be entrepreneurs, many wanted to just travel, and it was just great. That experience was amazing because it taught me how hard it is to be a teacher, how patient you have to be. It was great connecting with so many people with great aspirations. As a whole, the experience made me consider becoming an educator, whether that meant being a teacher in a classroom or someone who made videos online to help others. For me, I'm especially passionate about helping others create sustainable online businesses. My experience at Stanford taught me a lot about what I didn't like, and it taught me about isolation. The whole experience was very isolating. I didn't want to go into research after I experienced Stanford. It was many years since I had that experience, but I remember that I was in a room with dual monitors, no one else was there, and I was just on Excel doing data analysis for many hours, and it was just a room like this, kind of, not well lit, but tungsten lighting. It was very tiring. I remember I didn't connect with anyone there. I didn't learn much at all. The pay wasn't that good, and the type of work was very specific to lifespan development and laser focused on it. Any results would have taken many years to see. Unfortunately, I was there for less than 2 years. It would have taken about 3+ more years to see any sort of results. It just really wasn't for me, but I'm grateful for the experience and what it taught me about what I didn't want, ultimately. Before I dive into what I did for work during my MBA program, I'll dive into the entrance to the MBA programs, the admissions. Entering MBA programs in the top 50 are highly selective and competitive. I went to a top 22. Expect the acceptance rate to be anywhere between 3 to 5% for elite schools such as Harvard and Stanford, and 10 to 25% for a top 25 school. You'll be competing with people with similar intentions to get a strong education, to network, possibly go the management or consulting route, or even start their own company. And don't expect it to come easy. You need multiple years of experience, not just because, but mostly because you need to have some footing in some vertical or industry. They're interested in what value you can provide to an MBA program during and after. They're thinking about your value as an alum of the university. For me personally, I was very entrepreneurial and getting into food and technology as well as other verticals. During the time, there are many other existing food tech companies on the rise in San Francisco, namely DoorDash, Postmates, Instacart, and Munchery. Most recently, Munchery filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It'll be interesting to see how the space plays out, with many of them competing against each other, some going out of business. But back to my main discussion, you'll need to take the GRE or the GMAT. I don't recommend either over the other. Do what it takes to get the best score. Ethically, of course. Buy the Manhattan Prep book and do as many problems as you can. I studied for the GRE for a very long time. I took classes at Princeton Review and I did a lot of self-study. And I found that self-studying is very effective, but it's different for everyone. What worked for me was that I identified which problem types I was struggling with the most and all of the ones that I got wrong. I kept asking myself, why did I get those questions wrong? And eventually got better at it. Practice lots and don't stop practicing until you get a score that's above acceptable for your target school. It's just a game that you're going to have to play, and it's unfortunate that we all have to play by the rules. In terms of letter of motivation, you really have to think from within what your motivation is for business school. Be honest with yourself. If you really don't know and are thinking that logistically after undergrad you go to grad school, please rethink your motivation. Your motivation should be very much about business school itself rather than merely filling time to figure out things that you want to do after. The whole intention of going to business school in the first place is about going into management, consulting, or joining a startup. If you're unsure about what you want to do, take some time to figure it out. It's no big deal. Go into an industry and dive deep into it. Give many industries a try and see what you like and see what you don't like. Business school isn't for everyone. The letter of motivation is indeed an extremely essential part of your business school application. So make sure that the content is telling a cohesive and compelling story about why you want to be there and what you want to accomplish. Use your previous accomplishments to back up what you are saying to establish trust and credibility. Make sure that someone reviews your letter of motivation many times before submitting it. As for your resume, make sure that you really cleaned it up. List all of your main experiences at the top. Make sure that all of the descriptions use clear action verbs to clearly describe what you accomplished. It's okay not to be a top-level executive when entering business school, but they want to see that you have accomplished something great and that you are extremely driven. The resume is not the most important part of your application, but it will give them a great idea about your background and give them clues about your career direction. I highly recommend seeking out a resume writer or a career coach, and make sure that you carefully vet these people. Choose someone that you are referred to by someone trusted so that you know the value that they are bringing. I did not hire a career coach nor a resume writer, but looking back, it is something that I would highly consider. Once you've worked together the essay, the resume, and your letters of recommendation, it's time to put together your letters of recommendation. Schools usually ask for about 3 or 4. Who you choose is extremely important as they will speak to your character, your work ethic. Character is very important as they will want to see that you have the growth mindset, have integrity, and are driven to do great things in the world. These references should be a mixture of people that you reported to, clients, supervisors, professors from undergrad. A good mix can be possibly 3 supervisors, 1 professor, or all of them could be 4 supervisors, a mixture of clients, previous bosses. Just make sure that these people speak highly of you. You want to make sure that they will, so please give them a call about this and give them more information about your plans for the future. Give them more context about the situation and what you want to accomplish, so that when they are writing a letter of recommendation, it is cohesive and consistent with your letter of motivation. Keep them in the loop about everything, because your ability to complete this part is extremely important if you want to be admitted and extremely important for top schools. After all of these parts have been included, many schools include an interview. They want to meet you in person to see your ability to communicate and to be a good, respectful person. Go in with confidence, dress the part, and make sure that you're well prepared. Before this interview, ask them if there's anything you need to bring. This is the last impression that you can make before you're admitted. Usually you make it this round. It's a great sign that you're almost there, but don't celebrate your wins right here just yet, because you have not had an admission in hand. Well, congrats. Let's say you've made it into the program. And now I want to talk briefly about my time at Santa Clara University as an MBA. My time at Santa Clara University lasted 9 years. I was an undergraduate studying psychology. Afterwards, I studied MBA, which is a very broad study of business from a theoretical front. Sure, there are many group projects and opportunities for class discussion and discourse. There are many areas which focused on economics, accounting, management, marketing, finance, operations management, and more. For each of those subjects, we were required to study introductory material. And the intro courses went very quickly, as they assumed you already know the material and you've studied it already. I was quite challenged as an MBA because my background was not a business background. I studied psychology, as I just mentioned, and I had a lot of catching up to do, especially in the beginning of the MBA program, where I was lost, about accounting and economics. Accounting, it was a lot of dry knowledge, dry terminology I didn't really understand, but I spent hours and hours just going through the textbook and all these problems. I looked online, got a lot of help through YouTube videos, just like these. It's great that YouTube existed. Economics was also another area where I knew I'd be challenged. So I procrastinated taking the courses and delayed it very long. Little did I know I was making a huge mistake by delaying, because this was the one course that made my MBA program last a longer time. But that's a story for a different time that I will tell someday, possibly. Many courses have group projects. You will get really good at working with others. Expect that this program will take a good 20 to 30 hours per week on top of your 40 to 50 hours per week working in corporate, if you choose to do so. If you've never taken business courses before, you will need to do a lot of catching up. I enjoyed a lot of my classes, even though, I complained about some classes. I enjoyed the food agribusiness ones. I enjoyed the ones about finance and investing. I enjoyed the ones about entrepreneurship. I learned about raising funding from angels versus VC, and I'm on my way to raising funding. My favorite other classes included analytics courses, where we learned to analyze data for social impact. I really enjoyed negotiation, as it taught me a lot of invaluable information that I use on a daily basis. I also enjoyed strategy, which examined businesses internally and externally to build upon existing competitive advantages or create new ones. As a whole, working with others was a strong part of the program, and I learned to work very closely with people. I've had a lot of group mates. Shout out to you guys. Couldn't have made it through the program without you guys. A lot of them really great people. Some of them, slacked here and there, but that happens. So MBA isn't for everyone. At the beginning of the program, I remember that I didn't know if I would make it through the program. I'm very shocked to this day that I made it through. I didn't know if I was a good fit. I'm going to be very honest with you. And at the end of the day, I am extremely thankful that I completed it. So if you feel ready for it and you've listened to everything that I just said, you should just give it a shot. Just make sure you have a good reason to do it. If you feel pressure to do it, don't do it. you should only apply to MBA when you're ready. So that's all I've got about MBA for today. I still have a lot more to say about maybe student debt and possible outcomes. But if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate each and every one of you watching this video. It takes a lot of time out of my day and week to make these videos, but I really appreciate it, and I'm planning to make more and more content that really helps you guys, the ones that are entertaining as well as informational. If you like this one, really just give me that like. I really want to see that like there. And go visit my website at jer.chung.com. I have a lot of other websites, but that's the one I'm going to brand this under. And look out for more videos. Cheers, guys. Thanks so much for watching.